Looks like we got some more breaking news as it pertains to the Donald Trump FBI raid. It appears that either the warrant has been, unearthed and it has become public record, or I think CNN had got it early. But basically, Donald Trump was actually given a copy of the warrant. He refused to actually release it, which is very suspicious and bizarre. Because if the search was ridiculous, you could have shown us the warrant to give us more information as it pertains to that search warrant and kind of show how ridiculous it is. He didn't do that, and then AG Merrick Garland had to say, "Hey, I'm finna release it, dog." So that's what he ended up doing. So now we have much more information coming out. It appears that the FBI has recovered 11 sets of classified material from Mar-a-Lago while investigating possible Espionage Act violations. Again, I believe that the highest punishment you can receive under the Espionage Act is literal death. I'm pretty sure death penalty. But here's what the CNN article reads. It says, the Justice Department removed 11 sets of classified documents from former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence while executing a search warrant this week for possible violations of the Espionage Act and other crimes, according to documents unsealed and released on Friday. The property receipt, which was also released on Friday for Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, shows that some of the materials recovered were marked as, quote, top secret / SCI, one of the highest levels of classification. The search warrant identifies 3 federal crimes that the Justice Department is looking at as part of its investigation: violations of the Espionage Act, obstruction of justice, and criminal handling of government records. The inclusion of the crimes indicates the Justice Department has probable cause to investigate those offenses as it was gathering evidence in the search. No one has been charged with the crime at this time. So it looks like the Justice Department was able to get not only from AG Merrick Garland but also from the federal judge a warrant based on probable cause that these offenses have been committed, and so they're now looking for the evidence for those offenses being committed. It says the warrant receipt didn't detail the subject of those classified documents, but did note that federal agencies just one set marked, quote, top secret / SCI. Agents also took 4 sets of top secret documents, 3 sets of secret documents, and 3 sets of confidential documents, courts show. So I'm assuming that based on what they're saying here, I guess it goes top secret / SCI, top secret, secret, confidential, and I'm not sure if there's even more of a ranking than that, but I'm assuming that taking these different sets of documents, each will likely result in a different level of a crime being committed, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not an attorney, I'm not an expert on this. There was also a report that came out yesterday saying that the documents were reportedly related to nuclear documents, like nuclear weapons. I know that some people are saying, oh, he's trying to sell them to Saudi Arabia, or some people saying Russia or whatever. I don't know if there's any evidence to any of that stuff, but that's what some people have been claiming. It reads here, agents also took 4 sets of, sorry, I already read that. In total, the unsealed warrant shows the FBI collected more than 20 boxes, 20, as well as binders of photos, sets of classified government materials, and at least 1 handwritten note. That's pretty interesting. So, got 20 boxes, binders of photos, sets of classified government materials, and at least 1 handwritten note. The warrant, which has been unsealed and released publicly following a federal judge's order on Friday, was obtained by CNN ahead of its release. The moment marks an unprecedented week that began with the search and evidence gathering step in a national security investigation. So we also have a bunch more of information here that I'm going to read to you about the crimes potentially being committed. So there's going to be a lot of information because the warrant was unsealed. So it says search warrant reveals new details about scope of FBI probe. While details about the documents themselves remain scarce, the laws cited in the warrant offer new insight into what the FBI was looking for when it searched Trump's home, an unprecedented step that has prompted a firestorm of criticism from the former president's closest allies. The laws cover, quote, destroying or concealing documents to obstruct government investigations and the unlawful removal of government records, according to the search warrant released Friday. Also among the laws listed is one known as the Espionage Act, which relates to the retrieval, storage, or transmission of national defense information or classified material. All 3 criminal laws cited in the warrant are from Title 18 of the United States Code. None of them solely hinge on whether information was deemed to be unclassified. Okay, that's pretty interesting. I think there's a debate as to whether or not Trump declassified the information before taking them. I think that's the semantical battle that's going on now, because I think as president of the United States you have unilateral power to declassify stuff, although I'm not 100% sure on that. It says one of the less sensitive items taken from Trump's resort, according to the property receipt, was a document about pardoning Roger Stone. Says it's unclear how the Stone-related documents seized during the search is tied to the broader criminal probe into Trump's potential mishandling of classified materials. During the search, FBI agents also recovered material about the, quote, President of France. That's a pretty interesting one, according to the warrant receipt. So it looks like, some stuff on Emmanuel Macron. I don't know what he has on him. I don't know why he's keeping that. I'm not sure. But that's pretty interesting. FBI agents searched 45 office at Mar-a-Lago. Court documents released Friday also offer new details about the search itself and revealed that FBI agents were only allowed access to specific locations within Mar-a-Lago as they combed Trump's resort residence for potential evidence of crimes. I don't know if there's any attorneys watching this, but I'm definitely curious because don't warrants have to be warrants I think have to be specific to where it is. So it's like they kind of have to be specific to if they want to search your whole house, they have to get a search warrant that verbatim says your whole house. Or if they are getting a warrant for like one specific room in your house, they have to specify, if I'm not mistaken. But since the judge authorized the FBI to search what the Bureau called the 45 office, an apparent reference to Trump's place in history as the 45th president, agents were also permitted to search all of the rooms or areas at Mar-a-Lago that were available to Trump and his staff for storing boxes and documents. It's basically just the area. I mean, there's just so much. It's so big that it says, mansion with approximately 58 bedrooms, 33 bathrooms on a 17-acre estate. Now, that's a mansion. People be calling like 5-bedroom homes a mansion. 58 bedrooms, 33 bathrooms, that's a mansion, not a 5-bedroom home. But obviously, I guess the warrant wasn't for all of that. And it just goes in here to talk about Trump didn't oppose the release of the search warrant after the judge told Merrick Garland to, I guess, speak with Trump about, about releasing the warrant itself. Again, Trump not releasing the warrant, I think is probably the most suspect thing of all of this. Because it's hey, if you have that information, we all want the information. If you really have this proof that what's going on is just so crazy and just so ridiculous, why wouldn't you just provide us with the warrant and unsheath it, right? I don't understand. It didn't make any sense. Personally, it just didn't make any sense to me. And I think that was really the biggest sign that something was wrong here. But this just goes to really show, this stuff is completely unprecedented, guys. You're talking about a former president being raided with a search warrant by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is unheard of, my doggy. This is crazy. So he's really just getting hammered from all sides. The reports were that he took the fifth. He pleaded the fifth in the situation with Letitia James in New York as it pertains to his real estate dealings and those investigations. So there's a bunch of stuff going on. The January 6th situation is still going on. The stuff with the fake elector scheme is still going on as it pertains to the January 6th situation. You have, the Fannie Willis situation in Fulton County, that investigation. So I think there's so many walls that are just closing in on him, right? They're just really closing in, right? And so it's just pretty crazy to watch this as it's unfolding, because this seems to be the one that has it seems to be the one that has developed the most, and yet it was the least on my radar. This wasn't even on my radar at all. But all of these violations that they're looking at, multiple statutory violations that all carry some pretty serious penalties. Again, do I think he's going to be convicted? Probably not. The odds are very low. Even for an indictment, I would say the odds are low, just because it's so taboo to indict a former president of the United States, right? So interesting stuff we got going on here. Hopefully he is brought to justice for his crimes that he has committed, and I will continue to keep you guys updated on the situation.